So this is a bit of a personal vlog around my own food journey and things like that when it comes to surrender and processing and things. If this interests you at all, keep fucking watching. And if not, get the fuck out of here. Basically, if you know me personally, or if you've been watching these videos and stuff like that, you know I've been on a health journey for somewhat a whole part of my life. When I was 18, I remember looking in the mirror being like, I got weedy arms, I gotta go make them less weedy. And I went to the Gym and started gyming it out. uh, there was a point where I was going like 2-3 times a day, just fucking desperate, but desperate to lose weight. Weight loss has been a big thing for my whole life. And I know for a lot of people it is. It's almost like a zeitgeist. That there are the people who want to lose weight, there are the people who have lost weight, and then there are the people that fight it and either they don't give a shit, or they don't give a shit and they actually do. Now, in my own journey, I had been someone who had struggled with my body image my whole life. When I was around maybe 19, 20, I swear to God, I was borderline anorexic. I learned intermittent fasting. So I would go 1 day a week without eating. Eventually it was 2 days a week. Eventually it was 3 days a week. I think once I went for 5 days without eating. Now that alone isn't bad, because I know that there are some crazy people out there. In fact, I've done crazier since. But it's the perspective. That's where it comes from that really matters. I think last year one of my crazy food experiments that I tried was dry, hard, water fast, which means no water, no food for 3 days. But not only that, it's a hard water fast, meaning you don't touch water. Didn't shower, didn't brush my teeth. Lord knows I didn't do anything. I would still push myself to run and to live life normally. I did it 3 times. I did like three days, 3 times. Crazy as fuck. The thing I learned during that time, to be honest, I don't recommend everyone to do this. Like, the people who know me personally, they're like, Sharam, you're a crazy motherfucker. You do some crazy shit. One thing I'll never approve of was your hard, dry water fasts. I'm like, it's fine. I didn't approve of it either. But I learned during that time that a lot of the fatigue I had was emotional fatigue. Because without any stimulus to my body, the only thing that was literally keeping me going was my emotions and my energy. And what was holding me back was my belief about my emotions and my energy. Now, I'm sharing this from having just a recent breakthrough. That I was using the process of surrender to process deeply the emotions around food. That I realized and felt like I didn't feel like I had control over food. That food had control over me. And I didn't have a choice over what I ate. That my body almost convulsively, without me trying to, would eat things, would overeat things. Now, here's an interesting thing. Because if you know me, in the past, I tried to create systems. I tried to create a thing called weight loss via meditation. And at one point during that process, in a matter of a week or so, I lost 5 kilos. To this day, I've still kept that off. It was under the idea that sometimes the reason why we lose weight and we put it back on is because emotionally we're still in the same place. We never dealt with the reasons why we had lack of control, why it was an issue. So instead what we did was we just kept eating and we just kept eating and we just kept eating until we felt so bad that maybe we had to stop. Now, what happens with this stuff is there just tends to be a lot of layers. For example, there are some people out there who believe that if they don't feel bad about themselves, they'll never take action. There are other people out there who believe that if they feel good about themselves, well, maybe they'll overeat. It's interesting, but over the last 2 days. I've been on and off surrendering this for a while, though. Just before I say the 3 days thing. I've been on and off surrendering this for a while. For the last, better part of this year. Surrendering meaning processing through deep emotional surrender. That is, letting yourself fully feel the things that are going on. So in this case, eating a block of cheese and feeling guilty afterwards. Letting yourself fully feel guilty because maybe you ate the block of cheese to feel the guilt, if that makes sense. So it's interesting because over the last 2 or 3 days, I let myself fully surrender to all my body image issues, the pain around food habits, things like that. And it's the same thing. It's horrible. You know, sometimes people who they when they jump on either a free call or they're working together long term or even short term, it's like sometimes the process of healing feels horrible. It's because you're letting your fucking shit just come up and you're feeling it. So last 2-3 days, fucking horrible. As I let myself fully surrender to all the bullshit feelings that I had. Just, oh, it hurts. Oh, why am I doing this? I feel really bad. But here's the thing. Eventually it runs out. If you're a fan of my videos, you're a fan of me, a fan of surrender, you should know by now. Eventually it runs out. The grief runs out. The pain runs out. The shame runs out. The trauma runs out. The rule is with healing, bad emotions turn good, good emotions turn great. You can heal things that feel good because it's like sometimes we have attachments to the good things, so we keep them in place. We want to clear our pipe, let the energy of the fucking universe flow through us. So what happened? Well, there's all good things that happen. We gain a little bit more control. This day, while eating lunch, I realized I was making sandwiches. We had leftover stuff. Me and my partner made homemade banh mi. I had enough for 2. I made 2. I put the second one in the fridge. For some people, that's normal. For me, that's a huge thing, but not for the reason why you think it is. It was a huge breakthrough because as I put it in the fridge, I realized for my entire fucking life, out of the grief and out of the pain, I felt that if I did not eat that food, I would miss out. It's the fear of missing out with food. I've talked about this before, and now I've re-experienced it from a deep, deep level. There's other times where I realized that most of my life, because I've been a bigger guy, I'm 6 foot, I tend to be a bit more muscular than the average bear. I have good genetics for building muscle. That for most of my life, people just use me as a bit of a dumpster. Oh, there's a bit of food left over. Sharam can eat it. Not only that, I had such grief, such guilt, such shame, such fucking... I can only describe it as complete apathetic despair around food and my body that I even found it hard to work out. Lockdown has been over and I just couldn't go to the gym. I don't know why. Today, I have weights at home. I just found myself lifting weights, inspired to, letting myself do it. I truly believe in life, most of us know what we have to do. Even if it is to study something, or even if it is to figure it out for ourselves, even if it is to make mistakes, or if it is to book a call. But the thing is why don't we do it? if we know intrinsically that maybe we have to eat less or eat healthier in order to lose the weight, why don't we do it? Because sometimes the food is a portal. The food is a portal to experience the guilt, the shame, the anxiety. The food was a portal of deep, deep healing and intense emotional growth. It's funny, I often say, sometimes it's not the emotion, it's the emotion about the emotion. So sometimes it's not the anger, it's the anger about the anger. And sometimes it's not the food, it's the food about, or sometimes it's not the weight, it's the weight we carry about the weight. But it's a similar rule that I have when it comes to healing. Maybe it's not emotion, it's that you didn't emotion enough. Maybe it's the fact that you weren't anxious, for example. But it's the fact that you weren't anxious enough. You didn't let yourself fully, deeply surrender to that anxiety so you could process it. Maybe it's the fact that it wasn't food depression. It wasn't food depression enough. So I present this video as a capturing of a milestone in my own food journey. And maybe you've learned something about this yourself. Through this, you maybe have a reflection of yourself. Chances are, if you've watched this far, there has been a reflection of your own journey in some way. Humans, we tend to be mirrors after all. So I think it's really interesting, this whole thing. I had a million realizations today, having processed the guilt. But on my phone, I will bring out my phone now. Oh, look, sticker. That's a good logo. On my Instagram, I post this. Woo! As you heal and climb the ladder of your own consciousness from the new perspective, everything will look different. And what I mean by that is, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, it's @AwesomeSharam, link in the description. I might change that in the future. So just I'm not going to tell you, because one of you motherfuckers will take it. When I was Harvey Hook, someone fucking took Harvey Hook just to piss me off. Fuck you. So the thing is as you heal, your perspective shifts. Because as there's no longer things holding you down, you can basically come up. And from this higher perspective, we can see that the entire time we'd been doing something. But in that emotion, we couldn't. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already booked your free call, let me know. Link is in the description.